Big Boys neighborhood. In the neighborhood, man, my partner, Trey Songz. First off, Trey Songz, welcome back to the neighborhood, brother. How you doing?
I'm happy to be here, baby. You know, it's always a pleasure. I'm doing as
Man,
good as I can right now.
yeah, and before we get into back home and just everything with Trey Songz, man, you did recently announce that you have coronavirus. You know, how are you doing? Do you know about what day you're on and how are you doing at the moment?
I feel like it's about day 7, but since I tested positive, it's day 5, and you know, I've been much better since the first few days.
Ready to go. Any
Yeah.
symptoms, like anything that you've been dealing with? Like, man, this is a little different.
The biggest symptom I'm consistently dealing with is shortness of breath. Like,
Right. Right. And have you had any like headaches?
that
Go.
works out.
Hey, Trey, hold
Yeah,
on.
headaches come and go.
Hold on for a second. You froze up. So the last thing we got was shortness of breath. So continue from there.
Okay, yeah. That's unusual for me, the shortness of breath, just because I work out a lot. It's a lot of stairs in my house, like, so I find myself just wheezing at the shortest amount of activity. So that's the newest, like the most consistent thing for me. Like, even when I'm talking to you now, like my breath is not what it normally would be. But I gotta thank God, man, because it could be a lot worse. The first few days I couldn't sleep. I had the fever, I had the chills, I had everything.
So do you feel like you so-called turned that corner already?
Well, I lost my smell and my taste, and I got it back.
Damn.
You went through a lot of symptoms.
Yeah, you getting all the symptoms, huh, Trey?
Nah, I definitely got a lot of them, but I you know, I'm alive and well, and a lot of people
man.
have a lot worse, so I ain't doing no complaining.
Trey, why was it important for you to make the announcement that you had coronavirus, and why was it important for you to stay put as well?
I feel like a lot of people, you know, haven't been taking it as serious, and then you have, you know, the president leading by horrible example. You know, a man in his 70s saying that he's healed in 2 days. That's impossible. I'm 35 years old. I work out 5 times a week, and I'm feeling like shit half the time. You know what I mean? So
Right.
I think it's important that my followers and people that look up to me know that this is something that, if even if you don't have the most serious of symptoms, it could affect somebody else so
Right.
differently than you. And like I said in my message, that it wasn't said that my grandfather died of COVID, but I believe he did, because, you know, it was around that time that it wasn't really understood what it
Right.
was.
We didn't have names and titles and everything, huh?
He was having lung complications and breathing complications, and just for sake of somebody else, saving somebody else's life, and just being cautious and being, you know, caring about other people more so.
Have you narrowed down where you probably contracted COVID-19 from, or you have no idea yet?
Well, a friend of mine actually wasn't feeling good. She had taken a test, and I think she just took the test before she actually had the symptoms.
Right. Oh, she came back with did she get a false negative?
Yeah, she got a negative, and then she went back and got a positive. And a few, I ain't gonna put nobody out there, but a few of my employees actually have it as well. So it could have came from a few different places.
But you know what I love about it, man, is that I love that you care enough to quarantine yourself, get away from it, take care of yourself, you know, and not put people in harm's way. You know, you're not sitting in your Oval Office and coming out waving at, you know, people from your balcony. You know what I'm saying?
Rides,
yeah. Just getting your driver saying, "Oh, let's jump in the car."
Let's go see the people.
How important, or how important was it for you to make sure that you quarantined and got yourself away from your family as well?
Well, man, this was a very important week for me. You know, with the album coming out, we had some actual some physical promotions. I had like Esquire, Complex, Men's Health magazine. These were all in-person things where people were coming to me, and some more things that I had to actually shut down. So, you know, with this being an album I'm promoting, I think that speaks volumes as to what I'm willing to do to keep people safe. My son was supposed to be here with me this week just to celebrate with me. You know what I mean? And he can't be here with me. I'm in the house, man. Dolo, like at this time.
Hey, did you feel it first, Trey, or did you just get like a test because something else had went down and you came back positive?
I felt I was having chills in my sleep, and I thought I just was going too hard. You know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna take a rest day. And then I'm gonna tell you what, I got in the car with my brother, and he was blowing some gas, man. I couldn't smell the gas.
Oh man.
I said,
Wow.
I said, let me see that sack.
And so you put your nose right to get down and was like, man, I usually smell this.
I said, what's this? He said, oh, that's some triangle kush. I said,
oh,
is it?
Hey man, you was like, turn left right here. I need to go get me. You were like, turn left, man. Something ain't right. If I can't smell this kush.
I said, bro, I gave it to my partner. I said, smell that?
He was like, no, man, I'm smelling this bomb.
He said, yeah, that's that, huh? I said, it is, ain't it?
Oh man. Hey dude, I would have did you get out the car right there like yourself, or did they
At this point we had all been together. I was with the same people I'd been with.
Oh man.
Check it big. I'm the only one that tested positive.
Hey man, but you know what though, bro? That's another thing why the blessings, everything, you know, and take this the right way. Everything come to you because you're in the position where, you know how we say, man, God just put it on me. You know what I'm saying? Your family, everything, just put it on me. You've been that for not only your family, your fans, so on and so forth. So this is just one of those things where the others in the car didn't get it. You got it, but look what you're doing with it.
I'm a hold this.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, believe that. And once everything come around, we gonna get you some of that triangle kush, man, or get you some of that Louis the 13th. We gotta get the lungs right first. Yeah, I gotta ask you, bro, with 22 tracks, you know what I'm saying? And I'm talking about 22 like up and down, R&B, feel good, singing, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, why was it important for you to bring back home to us at a time where we're in a pandemic? People are, you know, you can't go promote. Like, were you a little hesitant about bringing it out at this time?
I was at first, you know, because everything came about and just disrupted what regular life was. And as, you know, I'm very close to my fans and I pay a lot of attention to what they're thinking and what they want from me. And I haven't put an album out in 3 years. So I figured if I haven't put an album out in 3 years and fans have been anticipating such, that they needed more than they would have needed it had the world not slowed down.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And they needed an album, as you said, that flowed the way that it does, that feels, it's full of soul, man. Like,
yeah, man.
And for me, it was important. It's called Back Home.
And why Back Home?
It's called Back Home because musically, I feel like I'm back home. You know what I mean? And just to hear you say that about the music, somebody that's been in my corner since I don't want to leave, but I gotta go right now.
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean? I want
and I get that. You know what I'm saying? Not only do it's like a real playlist where there's certain time, and you got to think, man, I just got it. You know what I'm saying? So there's times when in your life where you're like, man, I want to turn up. Oh, you know what? I want to slow down. I want to get my thoughts. Like, I think that you have an album, bro, that's human. You know what I'm saying? That's human. So so you went in knowing that either you needed this or we needed this for Back Home.
I think we all needed it, man, because what I think we in a time where music, although there are a lot of amazing artists and a lot of great producers, I feel like we in a time where everybody is focused on this one sound. You got hip hop and R&B sounding so much like one thing, like one big song sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Like you could take a rapper and R&B and they could sing the same melody and it wouldn't matter to you either way at this time. So I wanted to, and I feel like I contributed a lot to that with, you know, being one of the first R&B artists that was doing mixtapes and really getting into taking over rap songs. And I was promoted like a rapper, you know what I mean? I was marketed like a rapper. So, but the essence of who I am as an artist has always been R&B to the core. So I wanted to take this time to just differentiate myself musically and live within the soul that is R&B versus the half rap R&B. You know what I mean?
Right. Were you careful?
No.
Were you careful on collabs as well?
Very. I feel as though although my fans love when I collaborate, I feel like when, you know, although I love to collaborate, I feel like my fans get the true depth of myself when I don't focus on that aspect of making music. And I feel like the few artists that we did have collaborate accentuated it very perfectly without taking away from it. Because I feel like sometimes you can listen to an album and it sound like a collaboration project nowadays in 2020.
Do you know what I did with Back Home, bro? Is I listened to the collaborations last. Because people go to the collaborations first. And no disrespect to like the Sway Lees or the, you know, the dollar signs of the world, but I like to listen to, especially with Back Home, because as soon as I started it off, I was like, oh, well, you know what? Trey's in his pocket. You know what I'm saying? He's in his bag. And I love that you didn't chase a sound. You know what I'm saying? Like you gave us Trey Songz, or you gave us what we've been missing or what we know from you. And we know that there's a full artist when it comes to Trey Songz. You can give us everything. But I really felt like with this one, just the topics, the titles, what you do with your voice. You know what I'm saying? Whoever's penning, like it's a great album. You know what I'm saying?
You don't know how proud that make me feel, man.
Like I'm telling you too, Trey, this isn't me gassing you, homie. This is me
You ain't never gassed me.
But this is me saying, I just got it. You know what I'm saying? And I've been listening. So once you start picking out what you do, there's one song that I do have a problem with, though.
Which one?
And if we're gonna keep it real, man, that On Top of Me. Now, the other time when you get it on top of me, and the On Top of Me, and then there's just some people with. The reason why I got a problem with it, because your next line is pretty much, then you get on top of them. I'm like, man, you get on top of me, I'm done. You know what I'm saying? Like, you get on top of me, I'm done. Because I don't know how to control when you're on top of me's, and you know what I'm saying? Like, so when my song would have been, you get on top of me, you know what I'm saying? Wake me up when it's or like, you know what I'm saying? Like there is no then I get on top of you. I was like, dude, this dude,
then the song is done.
My song is done, bro. Then I go to sleep. You know what I'm saying? There is no, then I climb on top. There's nothing else after that, bro.
No rebuttals.
Yeah, like I was stuck on that one, like, man, like, nah, that ain't gonna happen here, man. You know what I'm saying?
I was like, damn, why Big don't like that one? I thought he might have vibed with that one.
Oh man, I'm gonna continue to go through the album and tell you which ones I don't like. You know? But you know, anytime that I hate, it's for certain reasons of my failures. You know what I'm saying? But you go into the studio, man. Are you in competition? Because we do have a catalog of Trey Songz. You know what I'm saying? We have a playlist. You know what I'm saying? You have albums. Do you go in and is there a competition with yourself, or is there kind of like you challenging, like, damn, you know, I got to? Are you putting pressures on yourself?
That's a great question, because every time you go in to make a project, you're trying to outdo yourself. And this time I tried not to have that thought process, and more so try to make sure that I stayed true to what it is I did. Because sometimes what it is I mean to music, what it is I've created, like you said, and it's hard for me to explain sometimes, and listening to you is dope to hear, because you know me my whole career. Mm-hmm. So when you say I gave you Trey Songz, I gave you what it is that I do, that's all I can ask for. Because some people spend their whole career chasing a sound.
Yeah.
And I've been able to create my own sound. You know what I mean? Like when people send in music for me, they sing like, they doing
it. But there is also like, there's just some things where you say, like, even in movies, people will say the breakdown, oh, it's a Denzel type. It's a, like, there is a Trey Songz type. You know what I'm saying? So if somebody were to submit, they'd sound like Trey Songz. Or if you hear something, you would say, oh man, this Trey Songz sounding mother. You know what I'm saying? Like, there is a lane that I feel like and that's why when I said when I heard Back Home, it was Trey Songz. I wasn't listening to it like, oh man, Trey done lost his way.
And I think at this point in my career, that's the best thing I could do musically for myself and for people that enjoy listening to my music. And people just that enjoy R&B within itself, like to, at this point, I could have chased this sound or pop or this, that, and the other, like, because that's like, I've done this time and time again. I had this conversation with my brother. He like, bro, like you did that 1,000,000 times. I'm like, but I could do it 1,000,000 times more and they still gonna love it. Like, when you understand your role as a player, that's the way the team win if you keep playing your role.
Right. Right. Yeah,
So
yeah. The quarterback throws the ball, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like play your position. And that's what we're looking for. But also what I do love about it too, man, is that same quarterback, he know how to catch. He know how to run. He know how to kick the ball if need be. So even with you, when I say that Trey Songz sound and you say, man, I could have done, you have done those things.
right,
You know
that's
what I'm
just
saying?
what the game need right now.
And that's what back home means. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like back home is to the essence of probably most likely the reason why we fell in love with Trey Songz anyway.
And the reason I fell in love with making music, like I feel like this album, I was in love with the process again, every step of the way, like the mastering, the mixing, the sequencing. Hey, drop the beat out here on the kick right here and bring in the vocal sample and then start the second song right there. You know what I mean? Like really living within it. And what the pandemic allowed me to do is really just not have nothing else to do.
Man, Trey Songz in the neighborhood, man. Trey, speaking of the pandemic, what have you been doing since the pandemic? We know that now you're positive with coronavirus, so of course you got a little different. But since the pandemic, how have you been living your life?
Man, it was ups and downs, like just trying to adjust. At the beginning of the pandemic, as I said, like right before, the week before Virginia shut down, my grandfather passed, so that kind of put me in a crazy space. And you have this life-changing moment and then everybody's forced to stay in their house.
Mm-hmm.
So that was hard in the beginning, and just figuring out what to do with the idle time.
Yeah.
And then as the world reopened, we're in the middle of a pandemic, and as soon as people start going outside, we realized that once again, racism and police brutality and the treatment of Black people is the biggest pandemic that has ever been. Mm-hmm. So within this time, I've always been socially aware. I've always been self-aware. I've always had the presence of mind that I'm a Black man.
Right.
But what this time allowed me to realize is how important my voice is to the cause, how important my voice is to our people, to the youth. Looking at my younger cousins, nieces, nephews, and now my son, I dedicated a lot of my time, and I risked getting corona like so many times, going out and
on the front lines. Yeah.
I held my own protest. I held a Black Lives Matter weekend back home in Virginia, where we marched in front of Robert E. Lee's statue. We actually fed 3,000-4,000 families, $1 million worth of food. Like it became over me that I got to be a man of the people. Like even in these times right now, because I couldn't sit back and just watch what was happening. I couldn't sit back and just tweet. I couldn't sit back and just talk. I had to inform myself.
We could play tennis with so many names right now, that we can go back and forth with names. When at one point, and I tell people, I say, man, 846 used to mean the time. Now 846, you go right to George Floyd. We're thinking about the injustices when it comes to Breonna Taylor, Ahmaud Arbery. The list goes on and on and on. Yeah. With either us being killed by the hands of law enforcement, or people taking the law so-called and enforcing that with their own hands. And you have the lifestyle, the square footage to back yourself away from it. Why did you put yourself right into it and use your platform when sometimes it's not the most popular thing to do?
Man, because the people that love me the most, the people that count on me, they don't have that.
Right.
They don't have that blanket of protection to their face to be recognized when they get pulled over, maybe. They don't have that blanket of protection to say, oh, you good, you this and that, you such and such. No, my son, right. My nephew, my nieces, my other nephew, my cousins, like they live life as everyday Black people. Mm-hmm. And my fans, they live in life as everyday Black people that's going through these things. So who am I to sit and take from the culture and become who I am off the dollars of my people coming out, spending money, whether it be merch, whether it be CDs, whether it be whatever support you've given me over the career. You've given me a lifestyle I couldn't imagine. So right. I'm gonna go out there and put it on the line for you. And I know that means once you become an activist, people, you know, you don't know what's coming for you.
Right. Because
My
we
mama
do
scared as hell.
and we do get the, you know, oh, just shut up and sing, shut up and entertain, you know, LeBron, shut up and dribble. Why was it important for you to include 2020 riots how many times? Also on the album, but why was it important for you to make a song like that?
Man, the way I cried when George Floyd died, like I knew him, the way my heart beating right now, like the way, like I can't even really explain, bro. Like my blood boils. You know, I have to sit down and chill sometimes, like because I get enraged in a way where as though, and I've always been this way because these things happened to me before. Like I've been beat up by police time and time again before I was famous, after I was famous, and as a black person, sometimes you just tuck that away as life.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
That ain't nothing you go talking about. You like, you know what I mean? Like it's just a part of your life. You deal with racism subconsciously. You deal with racism subtly every day. It ain't always nigga, nigga, nigga. It's
right.
It's we don't.
It's small way, crossing the street, stepping out the elevator. You know what I'm saying?
You don't take cash here.
Right.
It's you can't put your bag up there. It's you know, it's
or even when you finish a conversation and they say, oh, he speaks well. I'm like, what the fuck does that mean?
What you mean? Man, I'm on the plane a week and a half ago, and the white lady tell her friend that's walking past her, she said, it's okay, Rosa, I still love you.
What the hell does that mean?
She's trying to say he's sitting in the back, so he Rosa Parks and she still love him.
Wow.
She didn't know no black people was up there, big. I turned around and flamed her ass. American Airlines.
Wow.
This is ongoing.
Hey man, we're in an election year, man, and we see that, you know, either we can make history or we can have history repeat itself once again. How do you feel about the 2020 elections and voting?
I feel like, and I was a young man that didn't understand what voting meant. When, you know, what we gonna vote for? That don't affect us here. All that. I didn't felt those emotions, but right now in 2020, we can't be that. Like you see what we facing.
Yeah.
And a lot of people say it's the lesser of two evils, but if you look at Joe Biden, you look at him, he's willing to stand up and say, I said things that I shouldn't have said. I was speaking from a place of ignorance. He said that this is a time where you can't be like, because he signed that crime act and he sent a lot of people to jail. He did a lot of bad things. But truth of the matter is he's willing to be held accountable and understands that he can't think like that anymore. Like, so if we're going to be forward advancing and really actual, you see, we on the brink of so much change. Like it's incremental, but last year you wouldn't get body cam footage. Last year you wouldn't get an officer arrested a week after a murder. And that's small steps. You know what I'm saying? Jonathan Price he got shot by a police officer last week and he's now arrested facing murder, $1 million bond. That wouldn't have happened last year. That's because we putting that pressure on and we applying, and it's tiring and it hurt and you be sad and you be mad, but we got to.
Yeah, man. And I feel too, Trey, we gotta show up. We gotta be counted. You know, and I understand when my vote doesn't count, but yeah, it does. And the reason why we're getting locked up, it's not about just the president and the vice president. You know, who's your DA? You know what I'm saying? Where's the money in the neighborhood going? Who's on your seat? You know what I'm saying? Like there's the
city councilman.
Yes, man.
Bro. And furthermore, when we talking about voting, if we really want to talk about why we voting, people died for us to vote, man.
Yeah, man.
People died. People went out there and they actually lost their lives for something that we thinking about we might do or we might not.
Right.
And it could have been your great grandma, could have been your great great grandpa. It was somebody that lost their lives, their privileges, got beat the hell out of for saying they deserve a right to vote.
Yeah, and denied where you stayed, denied where you ate, less than dogs released on you just for us to sit down and say, man, I'm not going. You know, we spend more time standing in line for the new Jordans. You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna be you gonna be out there 4:45. They don't drop till 12:30. You like
yeah. Well, man, y'all stick around y'all radios. We got Trey Songz in the neighborhood, Big Boy's neighborhood. 3, 2, 1. Big Boy's neighborhood. Trey Songz up in here, man. The album is back home, available for you right now. Trey Songz, how much do you let the social media world influence you? You got a new album. Some people say they love it. Some people say it's whack before they even hear it. You know what I'm saying? like how much do you let social media creep into you as a person and as an artist?
I mean, you got to take that with a grain of salt because, everybody's looking for their piece of attention.
Right.
You know what I mean? When people comment on social media, a lot of times it's not even for themselves. It's for somebody to notice it.
Right. See it.
Post it, see it, think it's funny. Social media is not the real world. You got people saying stuff that they wouldn't say to nobody face to face.
Right.
You know,
like Louis that worked with us, Louis said, hey man, what if every text or social media comment, it didn't come on your screen, it came into the door and they walked in and they said, hey, you're whack. Hey, you're ugly. I'd be like, man, you wouldn't have people coming into the door. You know what I'm saying? Because we all dumb thugs and we all, cursor critics and all that kind of stuff. So,
ain't nobody coming in through that door.
Hell
right.
To do that. You know what I mean? Social media, everybody got the biggest balls in the world and everybody's right. Yeah. So you're never gonna win in the court of public opinion in 2020 right now.
Right.
And the internet is undefeated because it's more important to be funny than anything else. Like everything's about being funny. You saw fucking fly land on Pence head, he took the whole show.
Oh yeah, man. Shout out to that fly too. They said the fly's running too, so that's gonna even mess it up. So now we got Kanye getting in the way. We got, Harris and Biden and, Pence and Trump. And now we got this fly with his own social media. This is ridiculous. It would have been dope if you would have had a fly land on that little background of yours right now.
Right here.
We got Trey Songz in the neighborhood. Y'all stick around y'all radios. Big Boy's neighborhood. 3, 2, 1. Big Boy's neighborhood. Trey Songz up in here. Trey Songz, do you have any teams that's in the finals right now, or?
I don't, bro. But
man.
I'm going for the Lakers though.
Yes,
man.
sir. Yes, sir.
I wanted the Heat to win the last game that we watched just so it could go a little longer because you gotta realize after this it's over.
Yeah, man. You know how when things are over, it's like you get bored.
Nobody thinking about that, Big. I'm thinking about that.
Dude, we were bored out of a pandemic when you kind of lost sports when you're between certain things. You know what I'm saying? And now we got baseball, we got football. You know what I'm saying? But things are going to start to trickle away. Basketball is about to be done.
Done, and we don't know what that means. We don't know when basketball comes because basketball is my favorite sport, and because the season has extended this long, we don't know when the season gonna start.
That's another thing that I hate about you, Trey. And hate is a strong word, but that's another thing that I dislike about you. I dislike the fact that you play basketball with my son. You know what I'm saying? Like I never, and put a shirt on when you play with my son.
And I had a jumper looking right.
Right? Yeah. So hey man, when he did the shot, I was like, "Where you learning that?" He was like, "Oh, Trey Songz." I was like, "Don't do that shot again." I was like, "Don't do that shot again." You didn't show him what was in your DMs or nothing, right?
No. Strictly basketball.
He's 13 right now. You never know. You know what I'm saying? He got his own set of towels and all that. I don't know what's going on. You know what I'm saying? At 13, I know what I'm. You know what I mean?
He better have his own set of towels. 13.
Hell yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, why you can't put your foot in that crispy ass sock? All right, I'm done with that. I definitely want to thank you once again for Back Home, which I feel is a full album. You know what I'm saying? And 22 tracks on there. But thank you, bro. And we didn't even mention like the collaborations. We should, but that's what I'm saying. It's an album where I don't think you have to oversell it. You know what I'm saying?
That was the intention, bro. Like even with the marketing, and even though we're doing interviews, I feel as though my best marketing tool and my best promotional tool has been the actual music. So, and
all people got to do is hear it. You know
just
what I'm saying?
Listen to that thing, man.
Like for real. Like all you got to do is hear it, man. And we're right now, when it comes to society, bro, we're in a position where, everybody is cancel culture. Everybody's done with things so fast. You know what I'm saying? How are you feeling about, like, man, for people to just pay attention? Because for one, we also see that some of the attention that we pay, where we give our attention to, you're like, man, that's what y'all listening to? And I know as an artist, you got to see that on video, radio, social media, not that I compete, but this is what y'all want.
Bro, I seen a post, and it was 4 albums that came out within a 2-week period, and the caption was, "Which one of these y'all still rocking with?"
Damn. Hey man, ain't that crazy?
That blew me. It was all hip hop too. Like, so I'm like, damn, y'all done with it that fast?
Yeah,
but
man.
I think the culture we in right now is it's a lot of fast food serving as far as the music is concerned. Like people are trying to get a quick fix or give a quick fix versus serve a soulful meal where you sit down.
Yeah,
you
take your time with
it. And you take time to let that food stick to your ribs. So I didn't want to make an album just that came through and appeased you for a certain amount of time. This is music you can listen to for a lifetime, I swear to God.
How's fatherhood treating you, bro?
Man, best thing.
Change your life, huh?
Best thing in the world.
How old is Noah now?
Noah is a year and a half, man.
That's crazy, huh? That's crazy.
Yeah, he'd be 2 in no time, man. And he's singing his ABCs. He counting.
Is he going 21, 22, 23, ABC? Trey Songz is 36.
You seen the one Snoop posted?
Oh yeah, with the Snoop, like the Snoop look.
I watched that thing like 10 times.
Hey man, whoever does those edits with the Snoop and how you see like Mike Tyson, that person is a genius, man.
My boy, shout out to Savvy Amusing, man. I actually been following him for a long time. He's hilarious, and he do a lot of that stuff with Snoop.
Hey man, let me ask you now that we do have Back Home, and we know that it's easy to kind of like say, okay, we're gonna let Back Home get its legs, and then we do this thing where it's like, oh, we just we added, we restripped, it's Back Home too. Would you put 45? Would you put 38 or whatever in there?
We're not rocking with 45 and no way shape or form.
Okay, man. All right. Well, you know what, man? Well, maybe you don't want to be, maybe you don't want to be a bigger international artist. You know what I'm saying?
47.
Hey, man, but you about to have a birthday where you about to be 37. You know, hey, man.
36. Don't put another one on me.
Okay. All right. Well, you about to be 36. 37, 38, 39. All right, so the birthday's coming. What do you do for the birthday? November, it's 28th, correct?
Man, yes, it is. Hopefully, the world will be a little more normal, but I ain't tripping, man. I just want to be around my family, man. My birthday usually falls around Thanksgiving, so I'll be hopefully I get some of that home cooked food. Just be with my folks.
All right, my brother. Well, you know what, man? I thank you for your time, man. And we got to catch up when we can catch up. Continue to take care of yourself, man. I know you're on a real quarantine. You know what I'm saying? You're taking this very serious, bro. Thank you for your time. Rest up, get the body right, so on and so forth. We'll see you soon. If not, we'll see you back in Zoom, all right?
Yeah, love you, baby.
Love you all the time, man. That's our guy right there, Trey Songz. Back Home is the album. Make sure y'all go pick that up. Big Boy.